The mayor's race, Trump 2.0, and don't we need a state budget soon? So much to discuss. Plus, how do you investigate crimes if there aren't enough detectives? The Point starts right now. We're starting this show by trying to sort out the crazy world of politics. I'm joined by political expert O'Brien Murray and Jeff Colton, reporter and co-author of Political New York Playbook. So guys, we got a mayor's race that's going on. People are raising money. One of the big surprises may be that Andrew Cuomo actually has raised a lot of money. You've written a lot about it. Tell me about it.
Andrew Cuomo raised more money in 2 weeks than any other candidate had raised in 2 years. I mean, he blew the rest of the field out of the water, immediately expects to qualify for matching funds. So he went from an extremely late entrance into the mayor's race to instantly competitive financially.
So here's the real question. Does money play that much of a role in a mayor's race with ranked choice voting?
The answer is minimally so. Andrew Cuomo, I'm not surprised at all. If you look at his financing reports from before this mayor's race, he was still raising money for a state account, and he was raising money at the minimums to be matched, the 250 and below.
Match.
And an 8-to-1 match, you raise the money, and then the city gives you 8-to-1. There's no fundraising issue.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
so he has no fundraising issue.
No.
But Adrienne Adams does.
Mm-hmm. Adams is going nowhere. I said that here on the set before. She is not going to impact. She can't raise the money. She got in too late. She's got the wrong last name. She's the speaker, and every city council speaker that tried to do it before hasn't been able to do it.
But she does have an interesting argument, though, that she won't need on-the-job training as everybody else will because she spent so much time on the other side of City Hall and knows the job. Joe.
I do believe there's a lane for her. I agree that she needs to raise money quickly if she wants to get to people to know her because, yeah, sure, the people watching this show might know the city council speaker, but, you know, about 1.1 million Democrats vote for mayor, and a lot of them have no idea who Adrienne Adams is. And by the way, she's running as Adrienne, just Adrienne. Mm-hmm. She doesn't want to run for Adams because the Adams names is toxic.
But how much will it cost her to spend the money, say Adrienne, and people to pay attention to that name? And she will not get matching funds until about June 17th, if I'm not mistaken.
June 1st, but yes.
Last time around, 4 years ago, I remember getting money from the city for city matching funds right around Juneteenth, and it was a banking holiday, and that was a week out. So they say the 1st, she has to still file to get the matching funds. And she raises 8-to-1 coming out 2 weeks before an election. I don't know what that's going to do for her. Early voting?
Doesn't Adrienne have to be on the ballot as Adams?
She will be. Of course.
I mean, what does that do? Nothing.
Yeah, exactly. But she'll have to.
But here's the other thing. I want to talk to you about another big fundraiser here. Surprise. Zoran Mamdani is raising tons and tons of money. Does he have a shot?
Yes, he does have a shot. I mean, look, Cuomo is the dominant figure in this race right now, but Zoran Mamdani, even the people that completely disagree with his democratic socialist politics, everybody is complimenting him, saying he is running a really good, impressive race. He has lots of grassroots energy. He has the most donors in the race by far. Sure. And he's sticking to a message. It's very impressive. He just might have a ceiling as a democratic socialist.
But you know who's got the ceiling, though, too? Is Andrew Cuomo. His number 2 votes aren't there at this point. Right now, he's in his mid-30s in the polling. I don't see him getting to 40 on the second ballot by what he's got. Whoever drops on the bottom, they're going to be so low as far as votes.
Who's going to win? I mean, not who's going to win, but I mean, so if Andrew can't make it, and Zoran Mamdani, I mean, he's got a lot of momentum.
The progressives are going to get together and beat each other up and also have a kumbaya moment and say, vote for me, number 2, vote for me, number 2, vote for me, number 2, number 3s and 4s. In the past, it was only 1 and 2s. There will be a don't rank Cuomo movement and so forth. Mm-hmm. And historically, I believe there's only been 1 ranked choice vote nationally that has ever worked where the lead vote getter on the first ballot didn't win the race. I think it was the Oakland mayor a number of years ago. Mm-hmm. So this could be another time like that if Cuomo cannot get above 40 by about the 4th ballot.
So here's the question. What does his Rose Garden strategy get for him? The fact that he is, you know, basically not doing many interviews. He puts out these press releases day after day after day.
It gets him bad press because he's not talking to you guys.
We're frustrated. I'll admit it. Yes, I would like to see more of Andrew Cuomo. He is not making a lot of public appearances, and that, yes,
but
admittedly.
Here's the other thing. Yeah. Okay, you can put out all the press releases you want, and he has all these policies about all kinds of things. Nobody knows about it. You know why? Because he's not talking to us.
All the time he spent in Albany, you would think he would know the New York press better, have better relationships. He had all these months to plan. He could have met you guys for coffees, for lunches, for breakfast, for dinners, for anything under the sun. Had off-the-record conversations. He could have done something out of the Pete Buttigieg book. And Pete Buttigieg did a fantastic race for president. Why? Because he met with reporters. Reporters, you guys are very simple. You're human. You know, you have to be fed. You can't be overfed. You have to be truthful. You have to be honest. You have to be open. You build that relationship with reporters and be authentic. It's great. If you hide behind staff, we learned from President Trump in 2016. You can do it yourself as a candidate if you're trusted and authentic. You can't hide behind paper and press releases. You have to be out there and meet them. And there's so many ways to do it today, too, between social media, between podcasts, between this couch, between a regular email that I get every day and read with you guys. There's so many people to talk to, and he's not doing it. I don't know why.
He would prefer for us, for voters, to remember Cuomo in 2019 and maybe the very early days of the pandemic 2020. He's running somewhat of a nostalgia campaign. He's saying, don't you remember how much life was better in 2018, 2019 when I was governor? Let's return to that. In a way, it's what Donald Trump was running for president on. He was saying life was better 4 years ago. I'm going to give you that again. Andrew Cuomo was saying life was better 5 years ago. Vote for me. I'm going to bring you back then. So why would he come out in public now when he's, you know, running to the past?
I've sat here and said he's got a problem as far as all these stories coming out, and they're really burying him. What's missing is the positive story he has where he was, and I said this on this couch, where he was on everyone's room, kitchen table in their living room, in their bedrooms, wherever people watch TV every morning with their kids during the pandemic. That's the Andrew Cuomo that can win this. The Andrew Cuomo that I see today is having trouble, and not the Andrew Cuomo that is running a winning campaign.
You know, we know that people are going to have attacked him because of the reason he resigned, which was the sexual harassment case. We know that they've attacked him because of the nursing home deaths. But I did an interview with Mayor Adams on Thursday, and he started talking about other things that he now blames Andrew Cuomo for. For example, he blames him for bail reform, saying he's the one who signed the bail reform law that has allowed a lot of people to get out of jail. He also blames him, believe it or not, for homelessness. But he doesn't call him by name. He says a previous governor. But of course, how many previous governors do we have? But he went through a laundry list of things that a previous governor can be blamed for. And those are real things that real people care for. Do you think that that argument starts resounding with people and causing them to look for another candidate?
I think it could. I mean, yes, that's the downside of being the governor for 11 years, is that, I mean, he has a long record. So for everything that people might like about Andrew Cuomo, there's definitely a lot of things they don't like. Even putting the scandals aside, just saying the actual policies, yes, there are things that are real vulnerabilities for him. So I think that that really could start weakening him if the candidates, you know, find the piece here and there that doesn't pull well, find what annoys voters about Cuomo's record. You know, he has his defenses. He's going to find his ways around that, but it's a vulnerability.
Who's going to spend money against Andrew Cuomo when they think he's going to win? Very few people. But with the media attention he's getting right now on the negative stories with nothing positive, that's going to be a chink in his armor. And at the end of the day, if he continues to stay where he's in the polls and not show any momentum forward, I think you'll start seeing some of that money I never thought was going to come into this race to come against him.
So here's the next question. Mayor Adams, does he run for re-election, and does he run as a Democrat?
So, as we speak, his case has not yet been dropped.
Right.
The federal case is still there. We're all waiting on the judge to make a ruling. That could come at any moment. The expectation, the whispers, is that he is going to do something once that case is finally dropped. Maybe he's going to start campaigning. Maybe he's going to make a decision to continue not campaigning. I don't know.
But I mean, the mayor has sort of a bully pulpit. The mayor can have events and just be mayor, and people get to see him on TV every day. So
he has a great opportunity to run as an independent, and it is very unique. I mean, Bloomberg trying to do it as an independent at one point was very different where the city was and so forth. But right now, if you have a progressive win the Democratic primary and not Andrew Cuomo, and you have Curtis Sliwa as the Republican, and you have him as an independent, you have a situation there that could turn things on its side.
So what happens if that was the case?
The Democratic nominee usually gets about 750,000 votes, depending upon who you are. De Blasio was 780, then 760. Sliwa is about 4.
If the Democratic nominee is Andrew Cuomo, is it the same?
No, I think that changes. It's a tougher thing because Andrew Cuomo is the more moderate at that point. Compared to the progressive. The progressive will hold the far left, Curtis on the right, and the middle is open.
Does Mayor Adams decide to run as an independent?
So he would have to decide by mid-May. If you want to run as an independent, you need to petition and get on the ballot before the Democratic primary is decided. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Adams or other candidates try that option and just so it's an option to run in the general election. We're getting way ahead of ourselves, but yes, we could have an interesting general election with not just Democrat versus Republican. We could have a 5-way general or something. It could be fascinating.
The mayor has to do what's best for the city of New York. The mayor has to do what's best for him. I think those two are in line. I don't think they collide. I think there's a great opportunity. And sitting here before, I don't recall saying this, but I think he can win as an independent if Andrew Cuomo is not the nominee. Now, the other thing is Andrew Cuomo is the nominee, and he is so bloodied from it, and the issues that are attacking him hurt him in the general. When you have millions of voters show up potentially, you have a great opportunity again for him to turn out the vote, excite the voters, and really turn the city and be independent. There's not a Republican way to do this, run the city. There's not a Democratic way to run the city. You have to run it from both sides.
Okay, well, we're going to have to leave it right there for now, but next up, the head of the Detectives Endowment Association. That's coming up. Scott Monroe is president of the Detective Endowments Association, and he joins me right now. So this is a tough time for detectives in New York City because there's a manpower shortage. Tell me about it.
Yes, we're losing detectives every day. Since January 1st of this year, we've already had 390 detectives file for retirement.
So we had, at a high, there were 7,000 detectives. Now there's like less than 5,000. What effect does that have on the ability of the police department to conduct investigations?
Well, it's less members out there working, working harder, longer hours. It's going to be a problem. It's going to be, you know, I took over the union back in July. And I saw it was gonna come to this, and sure enough, we're here. We're here now, and we have a possibility of another, just under 1,700 that are eligible to retire by this year.
So, is this a public safety crisis?
I believe so.
But why?
Well, we're losing our experience too. So what's happening is our detectives are retiring at a fast rate. So last year in 2024, we had 455 detectives retire. Right now, we're gonna be almost there, I'm sure, by July, which is very concerning, you know, for the people.
So the units that are going to be shortchanged are things like counterterrorism, narcotics, auto crime, the bomb squad. What kind of an impact does that have on the city's ability to keep people safe?
Well, there'll be less detectives out there working, solving these cases, bringing these cases to court. Discovery, that has to go on because of the bail reform, that has to go to the DA's office. It'll probably be a little longer of a time, possibly, for discovery to go to the DA's office, which is important.
But if you can't investigate counterterrorism crimes, that's scary.
Yeah, one time after 9/11, we had over 150 detectives in counterterrorism. There's 12 there now. 12 out of, you had 150, yeah.
And now there's 12.
Well, they're not promoting detectives there, so there's 12 detectives there. I don't know how many police officers are there.
So are we vulnerable to an attack?
Well, that could happen at any time. You know, I just think, you know, I would fix the problem now. Don't wait for there to be a problem.
So how many more detectives do you think you need?
Well, we need 7,000 detectives. That would be great if we had 7,000. What's happening is...
So you say you need to hire another 2,000?
At least. They should have at least...
So, but you can't hire detectives. You have to hire rookie cops and they have to work their way up.
Right.
How long does it take to even get to the point where you have enough knowledge as a police officer that you could become a detective?
Okay, so it's you need to do 18 months in an investigative role, and then you walk across the stage and you become a detective. But in those 18 months, you're learning from senior detectives that have many years.
But you have to have time on the street before you can get into an investigative role, right?
Yes, yes. You go through.
So you can't magically snap your fingers and say, "Poof, you're a detective."
Oh no, you would have to do your time on patrol, learn the job, and then you would interview to go to the detective bureau or Intel or any of those locations that have detectives, and then you would do 18 months there learning. It's like a plumber. You know, when you have a master plumber who's learning, you have a tradesman who's learning from him. You have 18 months. And then you become a detective, and then you're out there, you know, working.
But the NYPD is having trouble even recruiting regular patrol cops.
Yes.
So why?
I have my feeling on a certain thing. It's the way the police officers. I think it's all through the country. I don't think it's just in New York. I think when you have Civilian Complaint Review Board, you have 50A that's out there putting your information out there of detectives that are out there or police officers. When you have the diaphragm compression bill where you may have to effect an arrest out there and you have to you cannot touch somebody, you know, by their neck.
That's known as a chokehold bill.
The chokehold bill, which is, you know, you don't know when you're out there and you have to make an arrest. Listen, no police officer is looking to choke somebody. It's just they need to make an arrest, and they're worried about that.
So do you believe there's an anti-police bias in the country and in New York City?
I believe so, yes.
But why?
Not like it used to be, though. I think I see it changing. I see it changing a little bit, but we're not there yet.
But why? I mean, is it that, you know, is it the aftermath of the George Floyd protests where
yes.
a lot of the people in public office said defund the police? Is it the new laws that are passed that try to curtail the powers of the police? Is it all of the above? And what can you do to convince people that it's still a good job?
So what we're doing is our union. We have a great union, and we're up there talking to the Senate and the Assembly, trying to explain to them about bills and legislation that we need done here to keep our detectives to stay on the job. So we're out there every day, the public, whether we did a turkey drive last year, we're showing the people of New York, we're here for you. We're not here to hurt you. We're here to work and do our job.
Yeah, but I guess, how do you convince people who are watching the show who might be thinking about a career in public safety that it's a good job and that they should do it?
We need to start changing some of these laws. You know, we need to critique that CCRB, Civilian Complaint Review Board, okay? They use a lot of money investigating that. We win, you know, when our detectives go in front of the board and they go to trial, we're winning 75% of the cases there. It's a waste of money for the city. It's very bad for morale, you know, and then they're putting up information on the computer on 50A that even if it's alleged, they leave it up there. If you're found not guilty, they leave it up there. And that hurts people getting jobs afterwards. So our police officers, my detectives, basically, are going outside the state, or they're going to other counties. They're going to Suffolk County. They're going to Nassau County. They're going upstate, because we are the best trained detectives there are. Okay. And that's why they're going to Suffolk County DA's office, Nassau County DA's office.
Well, we're going to have to leave it right there, and we'll be right back. Thank you for joining me. Mayor Adams hates rats and has declared a war on the vermin. How's it going? New Yorkers are weighing in on your point. The mayor declared a war on rats. How's it going?
It's not going anywhere.
I don't think it's going well at all.
It's a great idea, but
I feel like it's mediocre right now.
I'm not sure.
I haven't seen any rats in a long time. It might be going well.
I don't think it's improving much.
How come?
Because I see them every day on my block on my 72nd.
I've seen them all the way in the streets, in front of restaurants, in my apartment building. It's not going anywhere.
There's still rats around. That's all he's got time to worry about?
How's it going?
Terrible. Mayor Adams is terrible.
I haven't been following. I can't stand him anymore. I don't anything related to him. I don't even watch
anymore. I'm so disappointed. He broke my heart.
When was the last time you saw a rat?
Yesterday.
Last week.
Almost every day.
Oh, honey, it's all the time. You just come outside and you see it.
Today,
What?
on the street, busted because a car ran over it.
I have not seen one in a while. I can't even remember.
Every other day. They're coming from a vacant building, a townhouse on 73rd Street that has been vacant for 20 years that not one mayor has cleaned up.
When was the last time you saw a rat?
On the subways.
Train station. If you're going to wait for the train, you stand there, you'll see a lot. And they big, too.
Around the city at night, every single time I walk.
I saw a possum or something about 20 minutes ago back in the Bronx, but
A possum?
yeah, some kind of possum. I live near the Metro North, so there's all kind of animals up there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but actual rat? No, I haven't seen too many rats.
What's working in the mayor's war on rats?
Absolutely nothing. He's out.
Well, the garbage pails are helpful. They're better than the bags.
This moving the garbage, the change in that schedule may be helping a little.
The area looks better with the new trash cans, actually, than having trash piled up. So that's a good thing.
Basically nothing, I think.
Nothing.
Nothing, yeah, that's what I think. There's still a lot of rats everywhere. I see them huge and big.
Do you think the city's always going to have rats?
No. Now with the new garbage regulations, I think we might be gradually getting better.
Yes, absolutely. That's inevitable, yes.
Yeah.
Why?
Because there's so much stuff, people throw things on the ground and stuff.
I mean, we're a city, we're crowded, we're always turning up dirt in the world to build new things and to excavate old buildings.
New York City will always have people. New York City will always have garbage. Humans attract rats, and that's what happens.
Yeah, just like pigeons. They're part of the ecosystem, unfortunately.
Yeah. Pigeons and rats, they're kind of cousins, aren't they?
We're never going to get rid of them totally, but, honey, we can do better. You know what I mean? For the future, for our kids.